Howdy folks, it's Johan, your favorite little ink blob, back at it today with another Murders at Karlovmanor draft. Been doing a lot of them. The draft tracker says we've only got another 18-ish to go, if we can manage that, to get rare completion. So looking forward to it. Will give us a lot more options for brewing around in standard and other formats. Speaking of standard, the inbox message came yesterday that we did indeed finish number 835 in standard, well, in constructed, but feels fantastic. We've got 20 plan points, which we will probably not use this month because I tried doing a little alchemy, tried looking at some of the lists, and yeah, it's just really not my speed, and these don't expire, so and you can also potentially do multiple entries if you have some rocky starts, so we can try out standard next month, and if I grind to the top of the ladder again, that just means that we've got an extra shot at it in case things go wrong. So, looking forward to it, but for now, let's jam some limited. Hoping for a first pick Vein Ripper. Right? No, instead though, we get World Souls Rage. Interesting. So, a Gruul Fireball. And if you've been doing some milling, you get to ramp. I don't think this is terrible. I don't know if this is a correct first pick, but I do want to try it out. If we were not going with that, I think Surveillance Monitor and Exit Specialist are both very respectable first picks. I think Extract a Confession is also quite fantastic. But we'll take the rare Fireball. Let's have some fun with it. Following it up, Cornered Crook, I have not had amazing luck with in Gruul. Culvert Ambusher, I often find to be a little disappointing. Rebel Belt Braggart seems solid, so does Vengeful Creeper, but I think we'll just take a shock here. Oftentimes kills some of those early important things, and for only 3 mana can kill a disguised creature. Okay. Not a lot of good green or red in this pack, but probably wasn't a whole lot to begin with. Okay. I think, so Vidugazi Inspector I think is respectable, but I don't think it's very high power level. This is not what we want to be picking up as a pick 3. Cold Case Cracker, though, I think is reasonable, and we could pivot out of World Souls Rage, pivot out of Gruul into something more Is It. Ooh, Case of the Locked Hothouse, though, is a fantastic rare. And we have not actually picked any creatures in these colors, but I think also Get a Leg Up is very good. But I think we take Case and just try and go for some sort of big, goofy, green-red ramp. Well, not ramp, but big green-red things. Possibly Teamer, I suppose. Tipster versus Eavesdropper. I think we take the Tipster. 2-drops that... Yeah, it's, the 2-drops in red and green, I think, are generally weaker than some of the other color pairings, so a 2-drop that helps ramp you and can get larger, I think is important. A lot of our success seems to have been from valuing 2-drops a lot higher. Aftermath Analyst, I don't think we want to do a whole lot of self-mill. I mean, World Souls Rage, but then that's kind of what the Aftermath Analyst is doing. So I think a Vidugazi Inspector is probably actually a bit better. It has reach. I think an Offender at Large would be absolutely respectable here, but we will go with the 1/3 reach that can have some extra value. Airtight Alibi, I really don't think is bad, especially it untaps the creature so you can get some good surprise value off of it. But thing is, we could also maybe cut the red and go for like green-blue. So maybe instead of Alibi, we speculate on a Bubble Smuggler. I think is reasonable. Yeah, red seems to be a little dry, so let's take this unauthorized exit. And I think we can do an Eavesdropper. I do think green seems fairly open. Yeah, especially if a Vengeful Creeper is coming around. So, probably cut the red, unless we open some sort of fantastic card. I was going to say no 3-drops, but we do have Disguised Creatures. Like, I think Shock and World Soul's Rage are probably both very good, but we'll take the Rope. Don't think we run it. Guess we're hoping for, like, a Dopplegang as one of our rares. Really got by that card yesterday, although still managed to win the match, so I guess I didn't get too got by it. But turned what seemed like a 100% we've got this situation into an ooh, do we? Okay, green is open. Get a leg up, pick 12. Well, you know, I suppose a Vannifar is also pretty decent. Fantastic. I think this is exactly what you want to see if you are in green-blue. Other cards that we would like here. I think a second Eavesdropper would be fine. I think Projector Inspector is okay. We aren't really doing the detective thing. I honestly think if it wasn't Vannifar, it would probably be Sanitation Automaton. Just a pretty solid 2-drop. And if we see more in the future, is a combo with Vannifar, right? Or at least a synergy. But yeah, we absolutely take the card that can just take over the game all by itself. That is fantastic. Fey Flight, I think, is pretty good protection. We've got another Tipster, which we would very much enjoy. Sample Collector, I also think, is pretty good. It's a 3-drop that you really want to play as a 3-drop, as opposed to some of the Disguised Creatures. We do already have a lot of non-creatures. I mean, it's only 3, but I think we take the Tipster number 2. It's another pretty good 2-drop, and we might get the Sample Collector back. I doubt it, though, but we have seen a lot of very good green coming around. Barbed Servitor, which has, admittedly, somewhat betrayed me, so I don't know. I like it. I think it's fairly good. It is a little expensive for what it does, but Glintweaver is one that seems very powerful in the late game. I just have not been getting to the late game a lot of the time. But kind of stabilizes a board on its own, so let's try it. I think we can afford a 1-of. Nope. Just trying to get the other perspective. Oh, why is my brain... Oh, doy. Sometimes brains do not like to function. I think a bite down on crime is pretty good here. Case of the Pilfered Proof is a tricky one. Not for our deck, but I've seen a lot of people saying it's not great. It looks very powerful, but it's sort of deceptively so. I don't know. It is a little tough to fit into your curve, and it's probably better to be playing a proactive 2-drop, but it also just makes every one of your threats a little bit tougher to deal with. So, I don't know. I have found it to be a relatively effective card, but mostly being played against me, so perhaps that has a different perspective on it. I think a second Vengeful Creeper would be fine, but I'll take the Bubble Smuggler here. I like it as something that we can actually play down on turn 2, or 3. Good sort of versatility. Treacherous Greed. We could take the Fanatical Strength. Guess that does give us access to Trample. We'll take it. Not gonna rare draft it. Ooh. Don't really have this as a proactive spell, which I think cuts down on the value a fair bit. Because it's really nice as a combat trick that sticks around as well as potentially removal. Judith for the rare value, or we can just take another Loxodon, and I think it's the other Loxodon. We are not playing any of these. We already have a rope that we don't want, so we will take our last copy of Relive the Past. Yay! Ooh, okay. So I think some other folks might have clued into green being a pretty solid color right now. Oh, never mind. Okay, our first quote-unquote real 3-drop. I don't think we need the Hellion, especially if we have a Glint Weaver. We actually have a fairly decent number of 2-drops, which I'm very happy about. We've got one of the best combat tricks in the format. We could take a Crocodile. Homicide Investigator, fantastic card. Don't think really splashable, at least with the way we're doing things. We are mostly green with just like a splash of blue, but I think the Crocodile is going to be respectable. It's a 3-drop that also can get us some good clue value later. Dramatic Accusation could be another piece of removal, which I do think we need, even though we've got some good combat tricks, being able to hit some things that are otherwise out of our reach. So I think we'll take the Dramatic Accusation. Could also take a Hotshot Investigators, but I do not think we want the second Glint Weaver. Pompous Gadabout could be an interesting thing for our 3 slot, but we do have a decent amount in there that we're hoping to play on turn 3. So I think we'll take another Tipster. I think triple Tipster is actually kind of fine, especially with the Glint Weaver. They grow, we've got a fair bit of disguise. It's maybe a little silly, but interesting. Okay. So this is a Collect Evidence enabler that can give us some clue value to draw out and draw into stuff. Out cold. The fact that it investigates has made me a little more up on it. Yarus, very good card if we had been still in red-green. I think I'm going to go with the Evidence Examiner, mostly because I have not had a chance to play with it, and we get a Kellen. We've seen Kellen a lot, and never been in green-blue. I think Kellen is fantastic, so it's a growth spiral. Sort of. You don't actually get to draw the card, but you get a clue. And then, later on, helps you crack clues, and is a 3/4 Vigilant Body. Yeah, with flying. And can also destroy opposing artifacts. That's so good. Repulsive Mutation, I think, is a fantastic tempo play, and kinda sorta acts as removal potentially. Pretty good if we're holding up some clues that we want to crack, and hey, we've got 23, and I actually would be pretty happy running this deck as is, I think. Pick Your Poison, I guess we will take. I don't think we need that effect. Case of the Trampled Garden might not fit into our deck the way we want it to, but I think it's a very good, very respectable card. Hotshot Investigators, I don't think we probably run. I think we're just kind of doing better stuff on the low end. And we want to have access to a fair bit of mana so that we can be double spelling. Or spelling and cracking a clue. Alrighty. So, first off, So we have 16 creatures and 8 non-creatures. I think we do probably cut the fanatical strength if it's going to be something. Make sure that we have... I do like having a fairly large number of creatures in limited, especially since in this case none of our non-creatures create creatures. We don't have like a killer among us. So looking at that, yeah, that's still pretty heavy on non-creature spells, but I think all of them are pretty powerful. Dramatic Accusation is maybe a little weak, same with Unauthorized Exit, but I think it's some very valuable interaction. Repulsive Mutation can make our stuff pretty big, so long as we actually have a creature. Yeah, I think this looks pretty fantastic, so I'm sure it will go horribly wrong, but I like it a lot. Yeah, so just very quickly going to update my draft tracker. So that's 2 rares and a mythic in our deck. Did we pick up? Oh yes, we picked up 2 additional, so 1 and 4. Hopefully not our record, mostly because I don't believe that's possible. Unless, I guess, you want to count a draw as a 1-1 thing. Okay. Well, with that said, let's figure out a good Simic. Little Simic friend. Sure, Legolas. He's been portrayed as Simic. We'll go with the dinosaur, because we are all natural. And sure, the little sort of prismatic sleeves, and Vannifar. Alright. Once again, I've been on the other side of Vannifar, but I have not been able to play with Vannifar before. Clavid. Okay. Tipster into Case. I think we can... We hopefully draw, I think, some more creatures, but we've got all the mana we need. And we can make a big Tipster. And we can actually even skip over, go immediately to Cold Case Cracker. If they are spending their turn drawing 1 card and banking another for later, I think we're feeling good. So we will Tipster, next turn probably try and Cold Case Cracker, and then Examiner and Case, I think. And so long as our creatures are still around, that should, I believe, solve the case. Hothouse is quite good for the late game plan, though we are a ways off of it at the moment. But that is something where if we do just keep ripping lands, that will help us dig out of that situation. Just tap out, play something big, and let us pop off with Case of the Trampled Garden, please. I don't like you tapping your mana in a very specific fashion. Bouncing the Case Cracker. Okay. Well, awkwardly, I do think... So they're holding up a black. Why are they holding up a black? To drag the... I don't know. Well, I'm gonna walk right into something, I suppose. So we're going to Evidence Examiner. Oh, they might be holding up Slice from the Shadows. Or a counter. Reasonable doubt. Okay. Really would have loved to land that, but such is life. The Specialist, it's so menacing. I do find it very interesting that they held up black. Their own Cold Case Cracker. Well, in that case, I think we will Cold Case Cracker. And then I think we actually just surveil away, or exit their own Cold Case Cracker so that we can get in for 2. I think we actually keep the land so that we can case and solve this next turn. And we will collect evidence, make a clue, so that we will be able to draw as well next turn. Because we get to case, play 2 lands, crack the clue, solve the case, and then we get to start ripping stuff off the top of our library. Scene of the crime. I still want to see this get monkeyed at some point. Okay. Getting their own surveil value. So now we can actually case and cold case. And then I think we leave that back to be able to block the meddler, hopefully. So now, essentially, our clues are helping us draw through, draw any of our sort of non-permanents. Unless they have a way to blow it up. They've had some pretty good tempo and been able to just keep on cracking on in. Okay. Trying to draw into an answer, I suppose. So Aftermath can make... Oh, I didn't even recognize that this was an Aftermath card. So, gotta be careful to not hold too much in hand. Ooh, Glintweaver. Fantastic. I think we just run you on out. And I think we put a counter. We put 1 counter there, and then I think 2 counters on the evidence examiner so that we can crack in with both. And that also makes the cold case cracker bigger than their cold case cracker. And we get to play a land. Wow. We would have been ripping quite a few lands. There we go. I do think we attack with both. This is more damage than they are dealing. Unless I suppose they could flip this up into something quite scary. We'll end the turn. Escape tunnel. They can use it to force through their disguised creatures. So that is something to keep in mind, because that could be a large lad. Never mind. So are they more than 3 colors? No, so they are Sultai. They are loath to attack. Except with the unblockable thing. We will pass. And I do think we will crack the clue just to get 1 deeper in our library. Yes, there. It's end step. This is a sorcery, so plus they're tapped out of it. Okay. Sample collector. Well, it's not bad. We don't really have a lot to collect evidence with, so I think we try and dig deeper in the library. Bite down on crime is going to be very good next turn. But I think we will probably just crack in with both of our 4/4s again. Block there. Do you have a combat trick? Toxin analysis, okay. Some lifelink. I think that is overall pretty okay. Then we will sample collector. And so we could bite this turn, but I do think we hold off on it. So they have no cards in hand, 1 card in hand. Oh yes, okay. Sleeves blend in. I think we hold off on it this turn, because we can't do it and also kill that. We could kill this, but now we could actually double block. We can use one of our tipsters and our sample collector, so it's no longer a free roll for them. I think we absolutely take that block. They may have some sort of trick, but I think we can afford it, and we want to stop their value engine. Kill the tipster, okay. And once again, I will draw. Ah, Vannifar. Fantastic. I do think we want to save collect evidence for... Ah, interesting. So, it is cloaking a card from your hand, which is a little awkward, so we do want to be... We kind of want to be cloaking out whatever we draw. That would grow the tipsters. But I think we will start by biting down. From our sample collector. No, should be our biggest thing, probably. They might have a bounce spell. Let's bite down from our no, Jeebus. Biggest thing. Onto the disguised creature. We will pay the ward, and then we will find out whether or not it succeeded, I suppose. Is it bigger? No. Bubble Smuggler. Okay, so they could have actually kind of gotten us that turn. Then I think this turn we attack with... Nope, I think we are good card-wise. But I think we will collect evidence there. So I think we attack with these. We can get rid of... We'll do Bite Down on Crime. We get the Investigate anyway. Oh my god, I forgot that's how that worked. That is fantastic value. I think we will put it on the sample collector since we want it to stick around. Okay. Digging deep. Man, even with all of this, they are actually a card deeper than we are. Really digging deep. I'm a little worried that they have like a devious cover-up. Okay. Or deadly cover-up. I don't know why I keep saying devious. But awesome. First game of the day. Doing some amazing value shenanigans. Fantastic. Let's just keep that up. We didn't even need to play Vannifar. Yeah, so that was sort of what I was saying with the tunnel tipsters, that because we don't have a very high curve, what we're probably doing is trying to run out multiple spells per turn, which I think is a lot of what saved us there. This is awkward, but we do get to Kellen turn 2. Which I think is reasonable. Or sorry, we get to Kellen's ability. But we then draw the turn 2 Bubble Smuggler, which is, I think, probably going to be it, but depends on what we draw. Yeah, I think we just run out the Piker, and then we can disguise out the Crocodile, and then hopefully Kellen. Are they going to counter this? Nope. Search for a land. All good. Bum bum bum. They're playing Bant, alright. Or are they playing even more than Bant? Well, we will disguise out, hoping to run out the Kellen. No attacks. This flips up for 5, yes, alright. Elefante. Our own Elefante. But they are tapped out at the moment. They could, like, do a big bite down on crime, but that's a risk at any point. So I think we run out Kellen. And then we pass the turn and hopefully get to start cracking in with him. We will probably take some damage off this eavesdropper. But if they're spending their turn cracking a clue, hopefully they aren't doing a whole lot else with only 3 mana. Or they play a Projector Inspector. That's another way to get that second card draw. Your own Vigilance creature, but it's a common. How is that fair? No blocks. Okay. I think we start by attacking in with just Kellen, and I think we destroy their clue. They crack it in response. All good. And now, this is a little tricky. I really want to play out the Eavesdropper, and there's a very real chance that we end up just not doing anything if we don't. But I really want to prevent them from playing some sort of big spell, and we've got a number of ways that we can go about, there are a number of ways that we can go about killing that Loxodon, so I think that's our best way, is trying to get a good tempo play in here. Is like, if we get to Repulsive Mutation, for 2, their Crocodile, making our Kellen big, I think we're feeling pretty good. Awesome. At this point, we will, I think, probably play out one of our Eavesdroppers. That feels very strong. This is the kind of blue-green I love. Give me good tempo plays. Nix their play and just get them. I mean, this is definitely not a card that is good if you are really behind on board. Okay, they get to search for a creature. Trostani. Okay. They will start. Okay, this will give them access to Double Strike, Death Touch, and Lifelink. So my question is, do we have a way to kill them this turn? The answer is probably not. But we can leave up Unauthorized Exit. So we can crack a clue, unauthorized exit, and get a leg up. So I think we're going to start by cracking the clue. Like, yes, I know that we could crocodile potentially, but... Awesome. We attack in the air, and we attack with the 4/4 if they want to trade any of their creatures for it. I think I'm actually pretty happy there. Alrighty. Oh, I forgot that it could gain Death Touch with the green. I don't know how to handle Tristani. That was stupid. Goodness. Is there a way to fix this? I think the answer is probably not. Okay, so like we could bounce Tristani, damage is already done. Nope, we are just trading. That was very stupid of me. Yes, I did, Cholera. Tristani, so many modes. I was so worried about the... Why did I think it said... I read Vigilance as lifelink. I was so worried about this as a stabilizing thing. Ugh. Okay. Okay. We done goofed. But it's okay. We will survive. I think. I hope. Second Vidugazi Inspector. Like, hopefully we bounce Tristani and then get in with the Eavesdropper this next turn, and maybe even the Crocodile. What, you don't want to attack there? You can give it double strike. There we go. No blockers. Then I think we absolutely bounce the Eavesdropper. Not looking for the island this turn. Well, hey, Cholera, how are you doing? Sorry, got pretty focused here. Okay. I think what we're doing is attacking and potentially killing. Kind of feel antiquated. I haven't heard people saying they feel antiquated before. That doesn't sound particularly pleasant, but I'm sorry to hear it. Any particular reason, or just the inevitable march of time continuing onwards? I can't decide. Well, we turn up the Crocodile. Question is, do we save our Loxodon? Can't get behind the new trends and changes in VTubers. Gotcha. I think we do save our Loxodon. Oh wait, they can still give it Death Touch. I'm so stupid. Oh my god. I do not know how to play with Tristani. Oh, okay. Never mind. Still kind of works. Yeah, okay. Sometimes people do hop on things that I also sometimes do not fully fathom what is going on the internet these days, so on some level, I getcha. Alrighty, Vigilance, and Double Strike? No Double Strike. Keep him back on the blocks. So we could Glint Weaver. I think we do try and Glint Weaver, because it also helps us gain some life. And I think we make both of these bigger, because we're probably just chumping with the Bubble Smuggler. And let's make the Weaver bigger, because the Eavesdropper, we can crack clues and whatnot to get bigger. Tapping them down. Well, okay. Thinking of trying Disco Elysium again, but I'm afraid I'll be too morally pure to enjoy it to its fullest. I do not know a whole lot about Disco Elysium, but I take it it's got some interesting spicy bits. Man, Tristani is one hell of a card. I do think we jump. Combined Chrysalis. Oh my... What? Okay. Cool list card. Fascinating. Well, we will Eavesdropper number 2. We mostly just need to survive this turn. We will Vidugazi Inspector. We can get rid of our Crocodile. And since these combined would be lethal threats, and we're mostly probably just chumping, still think we put it on the other Eavesdropper, so that we at least force them to use the mana. It's quite well-defined political satire game with a bunch of viewpoints that I'm unfamiliar with. Ah, okay. Interesting. Sounds like something I might want to check out. Oh, okay, we can block there and block there. Most they can do is 8. This forces them to do some, like, death touchy shenanigans. Or sack the clue. Okay. But then they don't get to make the flyer. Do they have the combat trick? No. So they only have 1 green, and I have them dead on board. Okay! Oh! Even with all of the Tristani misplays. Because if opponent didn't crack the clue, they just gave it, like, double strike and death touch, and then made a token, I'd be very dead. Okay. Hooah. But yeah, it can be interesting. Even if you aren't necessarily familiar with all of the viewpoints that a game is trying to get across, I think it can be interesting to just sort of immerse yourself in, immerse yourself in some perspectives that you aren't otherwise familiar with, just drinking from the fire hose. Even if you don't get everything out of it, as you're saying, enjoy it to its fullest, I think it can help open your eyes to some of those things. lets you go and explore those and then come back later and really dig into them a second time far better. Just giving you a quick overview of the deck while taking a little breather after that very butt-clenching last match. So we've got some pretty good Simic stuff going on. Repulsive Mutation is a bit repulsive. We've got Kellen, which is fantastic, and we've got Vannifar, which was a very, very happy Pack 2, Pick 1 open. And we've got, I think, Case of the Locked Hothouse is the other, like, very spicy thing. But, yeah, no, we were feeling pretty good. Get a Leg Up was Pick 12 Pack 1, so we knew that green was pretty darn open. Feeling pretty good about the deck. Even if, again, we apparently really don't know how to play against Tristani. Dear lord. How did Kellen travel planes again? I don't know. I read the... I've read... Oh, I still need to read the, like, secret chapter that got unlocked when people solved all the puzzles. I don't know. I think he is supposed to be a planeswalker. I got the vibe from some of the conversations that were had, but I don't know if he has a spark or not. Remember, there's a lot of the, I think the omen paths from the Phyrexian invasion, I think, let people travel around in interesting ways. So this hand is tough. We do have the sample collector on turn 3, but we don't have a turn 2 play, and we don't have our blue mana, so I do think we mulligan. And kind of ended up worse off. But we do at least have more green cards, so we probably... No, because we can disguise out the Bubble Smuggler, so I think we just ditched the Glint Weaver. And at least we do have a turn 2 play this way. Mr. Maravimego. I know, I need to keep catching up on the story. My brain has just, like, not been functioning properly the past few days. I got out of my rhythm, because there was a slightly higher than normal use of our internet earlier this week, so I kind of got out of my upload schedule to YouTube and so on and so forth, and it's all come crumbling down. We'll be playing catch up today, though. Got a bit more time. Alright. Is it? I suspect some sort of counterspell, but we will run out the Eavesdropper anyway. He's pulled out. Alright. That hurts. Crime Novelist. Uh-oh. You're actually running that in your red-blue deck, I am afraid. They are stuck on lands, though. So let's run out the Eavesdropper, and then next turn we can hold Case Cracker and crack the Clue. Let it crundle on in. Yep, not gonna block. Especially since they would get a Clue. Haven't seen you use the Tezzeret emote before. Yeah, I don't use it an awful lot. I hope it's not too surprising that I don't get awfully angry in this game a whole lot. Interesting. The few times I use it are usually when I'm getting, like, particularly mono-screwed or flooded, or they are running some sort of, like, very frustrating combo that, I don't know, I mostly use it to express displeasure at randomness in the game, or if something was just particularly heinous or degenerate. I think we start by running out the Kellen in case they have another one of them, Reasonable Doubts. That survives, so I think I needed to crack the Clue pre-combat. Whoopsie daisy. But I don't think we're probably blocking anyway, so guess it gives us more options. Yep. Sometimes you make mistakes, but it's usually better to not try and back out on it. Oh, are you going to bounce it? Or just crack the Clue? and throw the crime novelist. Okay. Watch my novelist grow! Okay. They drew their 4th land. I am a bit terrified of what they have. That said, maybe the Kellen is preventing them from playing some good artifacts. So, I'm going to attack in with Kellen. Am I not going to attack in with Kellen? They're going to tap them down. Totally fair. So then we will morph out the Bubble Smuggler. I don't think I will ever not call it morph. But yeah, I don't know. So I guess it can be for a bad hand, but it's usually I need a fairly persistent string of bad luck. The crime novelist grows ever larger. Both of them do. We could double block. I'm not going to give them another clue. Bite down on crime, I do like a fair bit. They are tapped out, so we can just kill one of their crime novelists. Unfortunately, we can't do that and flip the smuggler, but I think trying to kill it before it gets even more out of hand than it already is. And we get to attack in for some more damage. This is actually, by giving it Menace, you're a lot more likely to be able to get a clue off of it, and by having the crime novelists, we really don't want to block. We're going to have to at some point start, but... Okay, Jetsam. Probably the... Oh! Wait, Jetsam can get any spell? Thought it was just creatures. Fascinating. Okay. Well, they got our Kellen. And we are drawing not spells. I think we attack in with the Smuggler and the Cold Case Cracker. We're probably going to chump with the Tipster. The 2-4. I think we attack with everything. This threatens actual lethal. Okay, they do block there. So we get to just eat the Novelist, which I like, and we get in for an extra 3 points of damage. Nut spells. Yes, exactly. Exactly what Chatterfang is. Chatterfang is a nutty spell. The number of combos its ability enables is kinda wacky. Still chipping on in. Okay. We've got you dead on board, opponent, so what have you got to make yourself not dead on board? That would, in fact, probably do it. Oh my goodness. We're getting close to that Tezzeret emote. Depends on whether or not we win or lose. I think we do attack in with both, since if they double block, we get to kill the face down card, which I'm fairly scared of. Guess we also could have attacked with the Tipster, which would have forced different blocks, but... Do you have 4 damage? You have another face-down card. Dramatic Accusation is fantastic. Yes, we will target it. will pay ward. We will leave up the shuffle effect. And we will recklessly attack with everything we have, unless you're going to tap some stuff down. Gadget Technician, make a Thopter, but that's still dead on board. Ho 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 ho! Okay. Simic? Making the tree... No, there was not a rhyme there. Simic is not just a gimmick. There we go. Well, we're up to 3 wins. Always feel pretty good when you make it that good. That far. I say as someone who often does draft enough to make it a lot higher in the ranks, but hey, you know what? With the luck we've been having, pretty happy if we make it to 3 wins. Keeps us going. Hardalman. Okay. We have none 2-drops and only 2 land. We do have some very powerful stuff, but I think this is another mulligan, since we can't really actually cast anything. There we go. Probably actually dumping the bite down on crime, since I don't think our tipster is going to be big enough to use it anytime soon. I think our deck is quite powerful, but one of the kind of drawbacks is that we have a lot of non-creature spells in the lower slots. Expecting you to get an ink blob of yourself into an official Magic card. Who knows? Now, I would have a lot of fun if we ever went back to Strixhaven and I somehow became some... You know, if I ever became an influencer. It would be fun to get a little Johan ink blob. I think we try Tunnel Tipster number 2. Oh, of course. Definitely will unseat Newmont. Dun dun. Double disguise. Hey, that's what we want to be doing. So, Case doesn't actually give us a huge amount of value at the moment, since we aren't going to be playing additional lands and we're pretty far off 7. So I think we run out the Evidence Examiner and hold up Unauthorized Exit. But yeah, we are kind of in a crunch. We drew 2 of our cards that are secretly 7-drops. I mean, Case, you do really want to be playing pretty close to when you get... You either want to play it early, when you can ramp, but, you know, we don't really have that going on, because we're probably going to be playing it on turn 3 or 4. I think we do try and block this mono-red deck. Halt some aggression. Gadget Technician, alrighty. Not something we really want to bounce. Okay, we trade there. Ah, we got their Vengeful Creeper. I do like that. So they are Gruul? They're probably at least Gruul. I don't think you play this fully off color. I think we actually Unauthorized Exit the Thopter, because it does kill it, and we get the Surveil. Yeah, not a Crocodile. Okay. Like, Crocodile is good. We could have potentially done it over 2 turns, but I think we needed to try and draw into, like, 1 more land and we get to Glintweaver, which helps a lot. And gets us 1 closer to the Case to get back in, but I mean, we are at a pretty significant disadvantage at the moment. Spending 2 turns flipping up a 5/5, I don't think gets us back in the game. Like a Kellen, I think would be pretty good. Second tipster, kind of worse than a land here, but if we survive and get to slam the Glintweaver, they're still stuck on 4 and off a color. We do not block. This can't be the 3-2 double strike trampler, so trying to make sure that we get to play the Glintweaver next turn. Okay, there's the land that we probably would have preferred last turn. But we get to Glintweaver. I think we actually just load everything up on it. We gain 6 life. We've got a big chunk in 6/6. So like if we draw, I think ideal here would be we draw Kellen, we use the adventure, we crack the clue, draw a land, play Kellen, trigger case, and are rolling in it. This is the +3/+0 and first strike. Okay, good to know they've got that. Okay, Vengeful Creeper. I think we probably just run out as a 5/5. And then no attacks. I don't think we can... We're at a low enough total, and they've got combat tricks that we don't have good answers to. I don't think we can really afford to start attacking. I want to, though, because then that starts letting us pressure them. But if we just leave back the 5/5, then they get to attack in with their entire board, essentially, with impunity. Whereas here, if they do, we can block Gadget Technician with the Creeper, and then we would feel safe blocking the Morphs. But this way, we get the combat trick out of their hands. They will investigate, but they can't crack it this turn. Unless this is the Felonious. No! Yeah, I don't think it would be, because otherwise they would... No, they wouldn't attack with those. We do draw the land, which is pretty good, because now we get to trigger case. Oh, there's the Kellen! So if they... Okay, they do draw land, which is scary. But now that we've got case, we actually have a chance to start clawing our way back in this. Okay. I think we have to block. If these are both the Bullrat Clan Bashers, we're pretty sad. Okay, that one's a Bullrat Clan Basher. So I kind of have to assume that this one is as well. Oh dear. Then I think we will Vidu-Ghazi Inspector, collect evidence, and we collect it onto itself. So that it can block a Clan Basher. We don't get to play the Get a Leg Up this turn. So I think we do tap down one of our tipsters just to get the clue value off Kellen, because I don't think we're blocking or attacking with them. And then we're just trying to survive this turn. I think if they attack with both, we block Kellen on the Technician and Ghazi Inspector on the face down card. Interesting to tap manually. Okay, Galvanize, killing Kellen. Fair enough. Ah, and they finally got their green source. This is terrible news. their own tipster. Okay. Play a land. Repulsive Mutation, I think, is actually quite nice. Let's crack, see if we actually draw anything else. Second land. So I think we will disguise out the Bubble Smuggler. And then we can flip it up, or we can do some combat trick shenanigans. I, again, don't think we attack, but there we go. Finally growing the tipsters. I do like that a lot. Repulsive Mutation is quite nice here. Because then we could make the Inspector like a 5/7, which just survives of Clan Basher. I do want to watch it. So we are at 17, they're at 21, so, and they have a lot more cards in hand. We are still in a pretty rough spot. We had to make some unfavorable trades. Harried Drone Smith. I do think we counter that. Because it kind of forces the Vidugazi Inspector to always stay blocking. So I think... yeah, I think we do it for the max value. We could leave Get a Leg Up, but I kind of want to make the Inspector as big as possible. In case they try and bite or something. And then we can start getting aggressive with the Bubble Smuggler. Okay, face down could possibly be worse, but I don't know. They probably have synergies. Land, Dramatic Accusation. I still think that's a Bullrat Clan Basher. Question is, do I think it's enough of a Bullrat Clan Basher to tap it down blindly? And I think the answer is probably yes. We pay for the ward. We play another land. Oh my god. So many land. Attack with the Bubble Smuggler. Flip up the Bubble Smuggler. And leave back a pretty good 6/8 on blocks and a combat trick that can give +4/+4. For 1 mana. It's like Giant Growth, but even better. Not strictly better, mind you. Like, you wouldn't want this in fact, but still pretty solid. Okay. Nervous Gardener. Gets them their second forest. Glint Weaver. Ugh. Okay. Definitely would have preferred countering that. Okay. So I think that's probably what the Get a Leg Up is going to be used on. Land. Eavesdropper. Yeah, we do need to watch our library a bit. I say, playing another card off the top of our library. Yep, I think we run out the Sample Collector as well. So, here we can... Jeez, this is tough. So, Get a Leg Up helps a lot, and we can give something Trample that way. So I think we do... Or, we can give something Trample with Case. So I think we run out the Case... I think we increase the size of our Bubble Smuggler. And I think so this gives +7/+7, so that would be 13/21. So I think we attack with both the Bubble Smuggler and the Vidugazi Inspector. Probably they chump with something. But if not, we kill them. And if they do chump, I think we're feeling a lot safer. I think we're trying to go big, because if we wait, they mill us out. They are tapped out. So if they do not block, they are simply dead. This is big and swingy. But even if they do block, next turn we can give something trample and then make it huge. And I think we've got some pretty good blocks. What have you got? I don't think we've played Vannifar a single game. Right? They have no mana up? Okay. Oh! My goodness. We really had to churn through our deck, but my god. Look at the value that Case of the Hothouse got us. We played, what, like 7 cards off our library that game? Man, okay. 4 wins and 0 losses. 4-0. Think this deck might be trophyable. Well, I think this is my first Simic draft, so liking it so far. Poxbringer. Ugh. Honey, would you like some more pox? No, I'm good. Okay. We want a 3-drop and a land, but we do have a 2-drop, and we've got some incredibly powerful 4-drops. I do think we start with the Inspector, because then we can morph out the Bubble Smuggler. So, hey, there's that 3-drop. Now we just want to land for Vannifar. Everything's coming up Millhouse. We'll attack in. And counter us. For no suspect value? No, draw cards. Okay. Well, hopefully this will be our first game where we really get to see Vannifar do some work. Just disguise something out. Crime Novelist. Okay. Still works for me. We will Vannifar. I think we will cloak the Cold Case Cracker. And we will pass, but then next turn we can have a pretty common imperative expletive here for when something goes awry. For Poker de Ogsa. Banned on banned on Danish Twitch. Looking that up. Well, Reddit is saying something that your grandma might say. No? Okay. Not seeing anything given, like, direct translations, but intriguing. Yeah, I think we Vannifar make big. I think we attack in with both of them. And we can flip up the Cold Case Cracker for surprise. Okay. Oh, I should have reordered blockers. That was silly. And onlays that might be Pox, but you're not entirely sure. Okay. Hence why Poxbringer might be a little along the lines of like a pox upon you or a pox upon it. Offender at large. Okay. No blocks. I think we will double tipster and face down the sample collector. No attacks. And then next turn we can flip up the Bubble Smuggler potentially. The lack of land is a little awkward and makes the case. Case is very powerful when it works, and very not powerful when it isn't. As I think is the case with a lot of cards, but... if they attack with just the flyer, I'm feeling pretty good. Nope. Okay. Surveillance Monitor. Monitore. That's Monitore. So we put a 1/1 counter, and then if we flip it up, it would be an 8/7. So if they double block, it trades, but I think we're okay with that. And if it doesn't trade, I think we're still pretty okay with that. Not all attack. So this can eat the Thopter, and then this, we could like double block here. It could be anything, quite literally. Any creature in this format. Okay. Bounce spell? No! They got us. Criminologists. I think this might be the end of the 7-0 dream. Really, really need to reorder blockers there. I mean, we would have been having to deal with a large crime novelist, but... my silly self. I think we actually do try double blocking here. Yeah, I think we do that. They probably kill our reach creature, but... Yep. Kill our reach creature. The bystander. Do enjoy drawing a land there. I think we will crack a clue. Ooh, repulsive mutation. Then I think we actually just pass holding that up. We cloak out the Bubble Smuggler again. We trigger our tipsters. We do not attack. We pass, we hold up, hopefully a counterspell, or flipping up one of our creatures. Yeah, so like we could flip up Bubble Smuggler this turn. Okay, just fopping on in. Totally valid. Dare I say, probably even quite good. Oh no. Double Thopter. Oh, and I could... oh wow, that's bad. Holding a counterspell in hand. Wow. Well, Brain massively farted this game. Wow. Alright. Still think we probably had just lost there. Fine, we'll Repulsive Mutation for 4. Counter the Orangutan. And we do not magically draw one of the things that saves us. So, we are just dead. Because, yeah, even an all-out attack. Alright. Yeah, so if we had killed the Cold Case Cracker, we would have had to deal with the large crime novelist, but we had, I think, much better stuff on the ground. And then if we had Repulsive Mutationed the, surveilling creature, we wouldn't have been dead that turn, so we could have run out the case and potentially gotten some more value and dug ourselves out. Plus, I think we would have been at a higher life total. Such is life. The life of multitasking. VSK 666. Ashiok of the Devil. Definitely awkward, but we do have 2-drop and 2 3-drops. We have both of our colors. We need to rip a lot of land. Well, there's the first land. So now we have 3 plays, and then 1 more land lets us start Vannifaring again. Okay. You don't really want to Vannifar a Glint Weaver. Okay. Counter. Fair enough. Rather that than our Vannifar. Because this is specifically enters the battlefield, and that's... You don't really want to play a 7-mana 3/3 with Reach. So, a wee bit awkward that that's probably one of the things that we really would want to cloak out, but... We can cloak out the Vengeful Creeper pretty happily. And then Vannifar just makes it grow. Yarus. Giving things haste? Oh no. Oh, there's another good cloaking target. Let's cloak out, I think... Let's start with the Bubble Smuggler. No. Yes. No attacks. We can't actually... Oh, actually... Next turn we can flip up the Vengeful Creeper, so... Oh my... Oh, I didn't even think about that. You can turn Bubble Smuggler up for... Oh, wait. Yeah, so I can turn it up for 2, and it becomes... Oh my... How did I not know that? Right? Because it just says when it's turned face up, you get that ability. Their own Van... Oh my god, that is bad. Oh no. So can we draw our, Can we draw our bounce spell, please? Doppleganging our Vannifar when they have a Yarus. Oh. Oh, that's kind of disgusting. That's a nice from me. Well, I think we will cloak out the Vengeful Creeper. Yep, we can 100% turn that face up this turn. We will cloak out the Vengeful Creeper. then we've got access to both Get a Leg Up, we can do Bubble Smuggler, or we can do just Vengeful Creeper if we really wanted. I was gonna say, I don't think you ever want to block with Vannifar. Fantastic. Okay. We are very scared, but they saw our powerful magic and decided to play also powerful magic of their own. Like, if we could bounce the Vannifar, that would be nice, but I think we almost want to kill the Yarus more. Because the Yarus is what makes their Vannifar better than ours. This is, okay. Cloak another card. It's like, we don't want to let them draw cards, but we also don't want to potentially flip up some huge stuff. Okay, opponent has things they can do. Okay. Preferring to try and wait for a nice little surprise. God, and then they can block with them. I don't think it gets better by us waiting. These do get flipped up by Yarus. But we're gonna put a 1/1 counter on our creeper. We can flip it up and get a leg up. Gonna crack the clue. What are you doing? Going to tap down some of our creatures. Probably these two disguise ones. Or the disguise and the 6/5. On the bright side, the... Okay, interesting. The bright side, we can turn up the... we can destroy Lost in the Maze. I think I am going to attack. This might be a very big mistake, but... Okay. What is it? It's a land. Okay, we can live with that. We will pass the turn. I still, like, we get more value off of not turning this face up with Vannifar, but I think we do turn it face up in case we draw a land for Glint Weaver. And Lost in the Maze, we don't have a lot of things where we're going to be super worried about it, but I do think making sure that they can't get hexproof for, like, if we draw our Bite or something is a good thing. I do really like the card design. Interesting, they are disguising it rather than using Vannifar's cloak, so they're going to try and make him big, I assume? No, they're just going wide. Come on, attack with everything. You know you want to. If they attack with Yarus, we, I think, 100% try and eat the Yarus. Right? Because then we can attack next turn and they don't get to just flip their stuff up. It's a big choice, opponent. They do indeed. Okay. Let's see if we get it. That seems promising. Okay, we got to kill the Yarus. I'm feeling a lot better. And then we flip this up. Destroy Lost in the Maze. Vannifar can make these big and scary, but I think we also get to just attack in and gain some life. Okay, okay, okay. We Glint Weaver. We put one counter on the Vengeful Creeper, so that they can't just triple block. Actually, do we put everything on Vengeful Creeper? No. I think we also put some on Vannifar. We aren't actually getting a whole lot more Vannifar value this game, so I think we're totally happy to trade it for some. Okay. Haha, all my colorless creatures. I have none. But here, we swing in with both. They can probably flip something up, but we've got a pretty healthy life total. I don't think 4 mana is going to make them that much scarier, and I think this incentivizes them to start chumping. Wow, Doppleganging for our Vannifar with a Yarus. Okay, they are triple blocking. I like their Dryad sleeves. Well, there's not really... Here, we'll swap around the order 1. It's not like we really know what's going on. Okay. So we kill a Crocodile and a Magma for our Vannifar that isn't doing much anymore. I feel great about that. Then we can collect evidence it away. And so we can make stuff a bit bigger. Like we've got 2 potentially lethal threats. Okay, Vidugassi Inspector, make something big. Big. Four or 5 Vannifar. And then make this big. Okay. So what have you got in hand that we should be scared of? Tunnel Tipster, not bad. Not what we really wanted, but not terrible. I think we attack with just the 6/5 and 7/7. They are still getting... Okay, what is this going to flip up into? Oh, I didn't... It gains 2 life. Okay. Good to know. This is a tough one. But I think they are getting a lot of value off their Vannifar. So I think we do try and kill the Vannifar. Okay, so they're left with a disguise creature. Which could be a lot of scary things, but... Okay, Pin Street Gossip. land, not what we really wanted, but I think we attack with the sample collector pumping up the bubble smuggler, so that they would need to trade bulk for it. But I suspect they try and eat... Yep, okay, they will eat the sample collector. Shock, okay. Okay, they have successfully, I think, developed a better board presence than we have. That's going to end up being a land or something, isn't it? Uh-oh. Okay. Bubble smuggler. And we do play out the land so that we can flip it up. This could very easily be something else, but I think we try attacking. Flip it up. It dies. No, it is a land? It's a land, okay. I don't know. Having that on the board, not knowing what it is, I thought was kind of problematic. Oh my god, and they get Cryptic Coat, so they just get value. Ugh. On the bright side, they don't have enough to use the Hedge Whisperer this turn, so that might actually be okay. Eavesdropper. On the one hand, I want to leave whatever we've got in hand to feign a combat trick, but I think we just play it, crack the clue, and see if we actually do draw a combat trick. We do draw a bite down on crime. Okay, so I think what we do here, actually... We're going to bite down on crime, collect evidence, and then use our Tunnel Tipster to kill their Hedge Whisperer. And then we attack in with both. And then they probably trade with the coat. Ah! Enjoying another lovely walk around dusk with fog. So here... Okay, they bounce the coat, and they trade the tipster. Still foggy. That just sounds very pleasant. I should probably go out for a walk today, it's been a while. Cryptic Coat, numero 2, duo. Numero 2, there we go. There we go! Haha! Almost to platinum. So they had Vannifar and Yarus. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, hachi, nana, hachi, kyu, ju, juichi, juni. Ugh. Okay, Restless Vents. Like getting that as an ICR. Puncher. Pushing this a little long today, but I want to get through the draft, and I started late. Tipster, Disguise, Smuggler, or potentially do a 4-drop, and we've got some removal. I think this is a respectable hand, even if it is a lower power than some of our recent games. Case of the Trampled Garden, I think is fantastic. Uh-oh. They're gonna get us. But yeah, I think we do just disguise it out. No attacks. And then we'll probably Case of the Trampled Garden, depending on what we draw. Bystander. Back on in. Old Case Cracker. Possibly better. Feels a bit haunted, but also really alluring to be outside right now. I get that feeling. Might be weird. I really enjoy hanging out in graveyards. Because yeah, it has just this sort of nice, I don't know, I find it sort of peaceful in that sort of haunted vibe. Okay, going to Lightning Helix. No! How dare you have good 2-drops in your colors? No blocks. We really don't want to trade off the tipster right now. Okay, I think we will Vidugazi Inspector. There's a solemn bird chirping, misty drizzle scurrying at the canopies and tree leaves. That sounds nice. I'm glad. Yeah, and then we Case, and we grow the Inspector by 1, and the Bubble Smuggler by 2, I think. Oh, right, only by 1. Doi. No attacks. Next turn we can potentially bite, and if our stuff lives, we get to trigger a Case of the Trampled Garden. Yeah, Boros? Boros is quite strong. You can barely see 30 feet ahead of you. Ah, love that. Makes everything feel just a wee bit more mysterious. Alright, Neighborhood Guardian is spooky. What makes the most sense here? I think it's trying to trigger Case. So we got the tipster, which helps. I think we crack the clue. See if we draw a land or something. We do draw a land. But does that actually change the equation, or am I just being silly? It does mean that we get to Bubble Smuggler next turn. And we could still bite down on crime. But we don't really get to do a lot of good attacking off of that. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we just get to kill the Neighborhood Guardian and trigger Case. That's probably fine. Yep, I think we do that. We kill the Neighborhood Guardian. And then I think we hold back on blocks. And then we'll be able to attack and give stuff trample? So we can, like, do that with the Bubble Smuggler. Oh my... I think your bystanders aren't actually so innocent. J'accuse! Ooh. I do like Mia Kellen. So we can Kellen and Tipster. Man, that is a lot of spooky creatures, but here. So if we attack, they probably double block? I mean, like, they're going to start on the jobbing soon, right? So here we attack first, we leave up the potential to flip it up. And it's nice and tramply. They double block, I do think we just flip it up. They triple block, maybe not. Oh no, actually triple block would be even better. They do not block. So I think, yeah, we absolutely, we got to grow it and get through for essentially free. Play out Kellen. Run out another tipster. Not on the job. Good. So now, I think we attack again, and we also have a Vigilant Flyer now. But I think we just try and keep growing the Smuggler at the moment. Because then it makes blocks a lot harder with the Trample. I think we'll turn it face up finally. Okay. Big board state on the job would be pretty bad, but which is why I think we need to block more aggressively than we would necessarily like to, but we've got them. Oh, we get to kill that with Kellen? Oh, no, opponent. And get a leg up. Okay, GG. We'll tap down the Phantom. We attack in. You can look at a face-down creature. Nice. Okay. They're just tapping out. There we go. Destroy their artifact. Make big. And then we can get a leg up if they... the bad thing about this is all the mobile data I'm using. Fair enough. We get a leg up. Oh. Yeah, I have definitely, like, I guess I don't typically watch videos while I go on walks, but I will sometimes... I'm terrible, I often use YouTube for music, and so sometimes it'll go on to a music video, so probably not the best, but it's pleasant to be out and about in a good environment and just have some good background noise. Okay, we are 6-1 with our kind of insane Simic Vannifar deck. So, feeling great. Hey, Johan, what's up? Our win percentage? No, I am very happy that we actually got to draft green-blue, since I think this is in, God, how many drafts? What about if for your next expansion you switch the language to Spanish? Ugh. I am nowhere near good enough with my occasional Duolingo practice. I do think it would be fun. I do want to try and mess around with doing some language streams, try and push myself a bit more, but I think I'm still a fair ways off of doing that well. This is a slow hand, but we have a Tipster, and we have a decent disguised creature that we can be sort of ramping into. We would love some not land at the moment. Actually, I think a 4-drop, so long as the Tipster survives, would be pretty ideal. Okay, black, white. It's going to be interesting. Crowbot Haunch I really like. I think equipment I like in this set is Crowbot Haunch, Concealed Weapon, and Lead Pipe are really the big ones. Leering Onlooker. Okay, they've got the good 2-drops. On the bright side, we might be able to get the Crowbot Haunch with the Vengeful Creeper at some point. But for now, we just grow the Tipster and try and make stuff bigger. The only reason I think I would consider not running out the Vengeful Creeper there is it does cost 1 more, so we're a turn off of getting it flipped up, but... So now I know what we're killing with the Disguised Creeper, or the Vengeful Creeper. War Leader's Call is scary. So I think next turn... Oh my goodness. Well, hey, case of the Locked Hothouse, we will be able to get pretty well. I think we're going to actually Dramatic Accusation, the Leering Onlooker, haphazardly doing your Duolingo lessons too. Hey, good representation. We're chaotic in a similar way. I don't think I'm blocking in any any way, shape, or form. So I think we actually just attack in for 2 damage, or 4 damage. And then we leave. Oh, no, right, that doesn't let us unauthorized exit. There we go. Wish they'd add Icelandic, though. That would be interesting. Got a little more variety in the Nordic languages. Yeah, should have not attacked with the tipster so that we could unauthorized exit, but such is life. Next turn, we will hopefully get to flip up the creeper and destroy their war leader's call. So, okay. Let's slam a jamma with the vengeful creeper. They're going to make some puppies. They still learn Danish in Icelandic schools? Interesting. Oh, I guess I should have destroyed it beforehand so I didn't take 2 damage. That was silly. But I'm kind of hoping that we get them to, like, double block, since it's kind of free roll. I think that would only be fair if I learned some of theirs too. That seems reasonable. I think that's kind of how I feel about a lot of world languages. Oh, toxin analysis, gotcha. Same with Greenlandic and Faroese. Yep. Look, so I'm terrible at fully understanding, but so Iceland, I don't remember the relationship between Iceland and Denmark, but I know Greenland is still technically part of Denmark, right? It's just autonomous. Have we drawn anything other than lands? I think no. Because we only have 3 spells. Goodness, okay. Y'all, I guess we don't attack. And the Faroe Islands are in a similar boat to Greenland, right? Where it's all technically still part of the Kingdom of Denmark, but it's, you know, everyone's still kind of just doing their own thing. Okay, that gets to fly. Now we will bounce it. Case of the Locked Hothouse? That's rough. I think we keep it, because I don't think we... Okay, I will try blocking. This might be very bad, but okay. Like, I think we need the Case of the Locked Hothouse if we're going to have any chance of getting back in the game, but we're going to need to rip really well. So, we get to Case, we get to run out a second land. We stipend their governments economically, but otherwise don't have much jurisdiction or rule over them. Okay. So, very much a sort of on paper still together, but not really in practice. So if we survive this turn, we have a slight chance. They do have representatives in your parliament, though. Interesting. Well, I think... Man, I think we try blocking the Market Watch Phantom, since it can fly, and we've got more things that don't have flying. Treacherous Greed. Draw 3 cards. Oh no, and we lose 3 life! We got by the Treacherous Greed! No! Hey, good job, opponent. Actually drafting that card and doing things with it. That's gotta feel good. Well played to them. I do find it interesting, some of the places where there are people who... I take it that the representatives in Parliament are voting members. Into Platinum. His end was wanted not. Yep, we are in Platinum. We cannot complain all that much. Although, yeah, that was literally... So we drew 4... So that was 7 turns? So over the course of 7 turns, we drew no, 8 turns, because we drew it on the 8th. We did not draw a lot of spells. So I think we will mulligan. This is looking a bit better. Oh, you get greedy and ditch a land. No, because we want the 3rd land for the eavesdropper. I think we ditch a tipster. We do have 3 of them. But yeah, I do find it interesting. It's very interesting trying to understand the weird, tangled history of how some stuff gets swapped around and how countries and places are related to each other. Oh, need to purchase a gift for your mom? That's nice. Any special occasion, or just feel like doing something nice? We run out the eavesdropper. Oh, fantastic! Well, a early happy birthday to your mom. Alrighty. So it's Simic versus Simic in the finals. I mean, combat trick, right? But if not combat trick, decent trade? Absolutely. Okay. Like, yes, we lose out on some vigilant value, but I think getting it out of the way was good. Here we smuggler, face down. And we could Vidugazi Inspector, but I think we will leave up cracking a clue instead. Watch our tipster grow. Okay, they crack the clue. Prefer not to say. I like to keep things a bit amorphous like my ink blob, but I will say I am younger than 30 and older than a teenager. Young adulthood. Okay. I think Kellen's a pretty good pickup. Though I think it's more efficient for us to tipster and then disguise something else out. And then that will let us have access to more mana next turn, so we can potentially turn up a Bubble Smuggler. Unless they have a counterspell. Ah, they mutated us. Our own game! And we don't even grow the tipsters. So much for my whole efficiency thought. But we will be able to Kellen and then Inspector. Poor Legolas's smug face. Okay. And land. Step 1, I want to see if we can just kill the Cold Case Cracker. So, Crundle on in. You do block. I will turn face up. Do you have a bounce spell? You have a bounce spell. Okay. They are out-tempoing us. This is tragic. No blocks. But next turn we can try to Kellen and disguise a Bubble Smuggler. Okay. Oh, they're playing Bant. Probably splashing for an Ezram. That's just the vibe I'm getting. But here. Kellen. Disguise. Grow the tipsters. And have a vigilant blocker with flying, but I'm very concerned about the disguise creatures. Could also be an Aurelius Vindicator, would be a very good reason to splash white. Could be a Tristani deck again. But I'm guessing it's probably something fairly powerful. If they're going to run, they went this way. And are mostly green-blue. I think they are probably splashing with like 1, maybe 2 lands. So probably just some very powerful bomb. I do think the smuggler attack was definitely a risky play, but I think it had a much higher upside if it did work. Okay, that feels like a Vindicate. No, it's a Crocodile that just did things very slowly. Killed the Kellen. Ouch. Well... yeah, we need to block something. Let's see if we can trade. Ah, Repulsive Mutation would have been good a lot earlier. We can Vidugazi Inspector to be able to block the Cold Case Cracker. And then we can disguise out the Vengeful Creeper, probably to chump with. Actually, our tipsters now are able to double block the Crocodile. Oh, wait! Oh no, we needed to leave a blue up! So that we could Repulsive Mutation. I was just thinking of the amount of mana we had. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. I think we went 6-3. I think we had one game where I just spaced on 2 things, and I think this game, I think that was a pretty critical space, and we did not get paid off with the Bubble Smuggler attack. And we have no recourse to flying, so we are simply dead. Alright. Haha, we will blow up a clue. Good game, opponent. You were us, but better. Well, hey. I think that was a pretty fun, very powerful draft, even if we felt a little sad in the end there. But getting got by a treacherous greed, I feel like that's checking something off the bucket list. Does ambiguity about anonymity sometimes become a hindrance in the States? I've heard that identity theft is sadly a pretty big and prolific thing some places over there. I understand if you don't want to talk in these topics. As I mean, briefly, I have not had a whole lot of it. Most of the times where I've seen identity theft be an issue, it's typically giving information to a site that's maybe not the best, or swiping a card at a less than reputable business. You know, I've not seen it be a hugely relevant thing unless you are doing things that aren't necessarily. I I think there are a number of ways to protect yourself from doing it. I mean, there's some very silly stuff about like how we use social security numbers and whatnot, but by and large, you can take relatively decent steps to protect yourself. You just need to be cognizant of where your information is going. And if it's information that you can't protect, just put out a lot so that it's hard for people to figure out what the correct one is. And I don't know if that's state specific, but I think that's generally what I come across and give as cybersecurity advice as well. So No worries. I enjoy having some other stuff to chat about as well. But yeah, I don't know. It's identity theft is an issue. I think it's an issue in a lot of places. I think because with the US, we kind of half-ass our system a little bit of oh, don't use it for identification. Oh, but we're going to use it for identification. I think it does create some perhaps unique problems, but I think it's the issue of any country trying to balance those things. But yeah, we had a pretty good draft. 6 and 3 is not bad. We had a pretty fantastic deck. So feeling good, made it to platinum, but not even all that worried because I think I might be trying to grind back up in standard again this month, get some more practice, but we do like making progress towards set completion, so we can hopefully do some more interesting brewing and not just stick with the same Boros Convoke deck over and over, although I am enjoying enough to be playing the 300 some odd games I did with it. So, heck yeah. Try to look frisk and fair for the Undertale run. Very nice, very cute. It's actually just finished our True Pacifist run yesterday because I went kind of long, and now actually know that it is Frisk, so I get your joke. Very nice. Because Frisk means fresh in Danish. Danish? Yes, definitely. Not for any other reason. Today, I think I will actually probably be starting a genocide run because it's weird. I don't want to kill things. I like the things. There's a reason why I was nice my first run through, but I want to see what it has to offer, and I feel bad that it's ruining this lovely happy ending, but it is what it is. What will be, will be. And hey, we gotta find out what happens when we tell San the passcode that he's come up with. So, alright. I will sign off, get some food, and be back at 2 Pacific for some Undertale, getting stabby with it. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. And if I don't see any of you for the rest of the day, I hope it is a wonderful rest of the day. Thank y'all. Bye.